Hello, I'm Marvin Budd. I promised in my last video that I would go over the operation of shoebox in a little bit more detail. Remember that shoebox is installed on your hard drive and an icon is installed on your desktop. And so to open it, you double click on the icon, and then you have the two windows that can appear, one for the audio or video, and that can be displayed at the same time as you can look at the scanned photos. You select the media type you want to see with these check boxes. Another interesting feature is the ability to sort the media. You can sort it by date, which is the default, by person, which includes both maiden and married names. For example, this Jane U. Akers married a Bud, and this is her tombstone. Mary Adams Budd, wife of John Budd. And the date is a date that I have guessed, or in this case it is the death date that was on the tombstone. Some of these are more significant than others. Some of them are a pure guess. Don't get hung up on that. Use that as, if you've got better information, let me know. Maybe the next version we can make that change. So as you move your mouse pointer in the left column, you can see the pictures associated with that name. And here's some video that's related to that person, where they've been discussed. That some video and audio is not completely indexed, so you may or may not find everything there, but what I have indexed you will be able to find easily here. For example, this Cletus June Campbell Bailey Murray will appear alphabetically under Bailey, under Murray, and under Campbell, because she goes by all of those last names. So it should be easy to find somebody in this list. My mother, Irma Mae Barker Budd, will appear under Barker as well as under Budd. This is my folks, and that's my mom. So that's the name sort, the filter. You can also display things by location. Here are things where my dad grew up in Crawfordsville, Indiana. This is his home, a letter from there, dad in his yard, etc. It's sorted by state of Indiana and then by the city within that state. Should find those in alphabetical order. You can also sort by file name, and these are the file names. The source is where I got that picture from. Some I have taken the pictures myself or made the recordings, like here. Others have been obtained from my family. This is one from my sister. There are many other people who have contributed to this, and if you contribute something, I'll try to give you credit here. And then by accession, which is the unique number that I have assigned to each item. Those don't have a lot of meaning, but in my records, I kept records as to when it was received, and sometimes that helps me locate the item. So here's the source. You've got the link here. That's the file name on disk. The accession. Collections are something that's advanced. I'll go over that last. And the people in the video, or in the picture, usually left to right, back to front. And some of these are very old photos that have a lot of dirt and imperfections on them. I haven't tried to clean them up completely, but they are about as good as I could do with a scanned image. Some of these are smaller or bigger, and if you want to see them in more detail, again, click on the photo and then you can make it full size for your viewing or printing, or that also gives you the ability to just leave that over on the side so that you can look at it some more and compare it with other photos if you wish. Like here we have that picture, we have the media window, and if we go to another accession, we could open that one up. There's my brother. And you can have as many of these photos open at the same time as you want if you click on the picture. Okay, I'm going to close some of these so that we don't have so much confusion. Next, I'd like to show you the playlist feature. This is my Aunt Wilda, my father's oldest sister, and there is a video where she is described, and if I move my mouse pointer over this playlist.
This. Okay, this is me, and I don't even know how old I was, maybe on the back.
That's her.
And that's my mother. And that picture was handed down to me. She was a young girl, not married yet.
So this is a good example of the video being of poor quality, but when we got it scanned in, it's much easier to look at. But the person describing it is valuable, and they may point to features in the photo that will help you understand the photo better. That can occur in audio or video. So look for the references on the video, which will show you the photo. Notice that this video has references back to the photo, and the photo has references to the video. And one's called a playlist, the other's references. So if you've gotten this far, you'll understand a lot about using shoebox. Getting control of the windows, sizing them, moving them side by side is how you can control them on your computer. Now I want to describe the file layout basically. You'll remember that we put the BUD file in its own directory under our downloads folder. You can put it wherever you'd like it to be, but I have it here. And we chose this accessions file in shoebox in order to open this up. You'll find subdirectories underneath this folder. The audio files are in this audio folder. The photos are in the photo folder. The videos are in the video folder. And the genealogy website is under this website folder. My genealogy data is like pedigree data. like who my father is and who my father's father is. If you click on Second Sight, anywhere it shows it here, it will open up yet another window showing you that website. You can, again, open this window up as big as you'd like it to be. This data is from another database that I have on my family. It's generated from that database using software called Second Sight by John Cardinal. These are the tabs that are available for you to use to just search that data. I put some interesting data on the main web page that might give you some ideas for further research or for a vacation visit. You can search by name using this tab. You can see charts like a descendant chart of my oldest known bud ancestor here. And you can see all of the descendants. There's quite a number. And you can scroll down to see them all. And if you click on any one of them, it will show you that person's data. You can see their pedigree. This is Elijah Budd. His parents were John Budd and Mary Adams. His siblings, etc. And you can go backwards, make this person at the root of this by clicking on their name. Then you can look at their pedigree data. There's two kinds of pedigree data shown here, which choose whichever one you like. This shows it this way. This one comes up this way. And again, you can see the different items available. The important dates calendar tells you everything that's happening today in the database. There's a lot of stuff there. For example, Orlando C. Hicks died on this day in 1938, we think. We don't know where he went, but that's the last time we knew of him. You can click on his name to see more about him. The data in this website is a computer version of English, but the English is not that readable because the date, the person, and the place are what's important. That's where we have source data. The superscript after it gives a link to the source. Source 210 is a World War I draft registration card. We know that Orlando Hicks went into the Army, and we know he came out, but we don't know what happened to him after that. So if you click on source 210, you can see the individual data. Beside some sources, you will find this little page. You can click on that and see the detail for that source. Some of it's helpful, some of it not so much. This one said he was living on the same street as John Barker. Now, after you've gone down that rabbit hole, you may have to get back. Alt, left-hand arrow might work, but I'm not getting it to work here. So you might have to go back and click on and find him again. That's unfortunate. The surname index allows you to look by surnames. Some of these are very distant married-in relatives, but it's fun to look down and see what surnames are in the database. You can look at the place index to find out everything that happened at a particular place. Sometimes I have GPS coordinates, like the old Union Church Cemetery shows by its coordinates. Other times you will find things alphabetized by country, state, county, city, and then the detail about that location. We've actually got some things happening in Cuba. And then finally is the master index, where you can see things by last name and first name and search that way. So you have a number of ways to find things, several chart types. You've got descendant charts, pedigree charts, and box charts or indented box charts. And if you are interested, we might be able to send you a very fancy printout like you might see on the RITS program in NPR. Those are done with special print services. I think we could probably do something like that. I have the software. I would have to make it. It's not available through this this program here. Shoebox can't do it. So that's the website. Very interesting information there. Many times I've included a picture of the census if I have it available, or a transcription. Whatever I have is identified there if you drill down into the sources far enough. So now we're back at Shoebox again. We've described the directory structure, and you may find that there is just too much information here for people that are not in your family. You may not know any of these people, and they may not be very closely related to you. They may be related to me, but not you. And I included them on, I've only got 2 sets that I'm releasing. One for my Bud side, my dad's side, and another database for my mom's side, the Barker side. I didn't break it down in fine detail for any family. And there's only data here for people that are dead. I haven't included living people, but I do have that data if it's been given to me. I don't tend to release it, but if you ask me for some information, I think you should have it, I'll give it to you. For example, if it's your close relatives. I can even make customizations of this, but it takes me time, and I might like to get something for that customization. So now let's talk about the next step, I would say, towards an advanced knowledge of Shoebox. If we open up the GitHub page again, and let's go back to there, and we go to the project itself. Down in this README, it tells you a little bit about the file structure here, just like I've described to you. And then it talks about collections. One of the things it gives you here is a piece of sample information that you can put in a file to create something I call a collection. That would be individual accessions or media that you would like in a separate list. This text right here is what you need to create that. So highlight it, copy it, and now we're going to get rid of this window. Whoops. Sorry. Okay, now we're going to get rid of this window. There we go. We'll go back to the file system again where we put the bud folder. And there it is. There is a separate subdirectory called collections. Currently this is empty, and you will notice that we don't have anything on the screen talking about collections except for this item right here. So now we're going to create a collection. So if I bring this back and I right click here and say new text document, it will ask for the name. And let's suppose that I'm a Zintz relative. So I'll put and I could call this, I'd like this to probably be short. And then you can expand on that down here under title. And this will be the title that appears at the top of the page. That's still fairly short, but it's descriptive and it will help me. That's all you need to do to create a collection. So close that and it should save it. And you can see it here. And now I'm going to get rid of this window, minimize this window. All right, I didn't do it right. Okay, minimize this window. And now I still don't see that, but if I go back here and I close shoebox, it will find that collection. And some new options are now available. Notice we have a collection drop down here, and we can select that collection. We have another option that says to restrict this list on the left-hand side to only what's in that collection. If we check that box right now, we know nothing is in it, and so everything disappears. So we'll uncheck that. And I'm going to go down now by person, and I will select anybody that has Zintz in their name. Now I'm on my dad's side of the family, so I've picked a very poor example. So let's fix it. Let's go back to this. I'm going to close shoebox, right click on this and rename it to rows. Right click on it again and edit, and we'll call this rows family, just rows. And we'll change this to rows family. And then save it again. And I'll save it there. All right, now if we open shoebox, we have a rows option. And now I could go to by person, go down to the roses, and I can put people in that collection, put any holding in that collection by double clicking here. So if I double click, it turns green. You'll see it, those windows pop up sometimes in a bad way unless you control them. So move them where you want them to be and leave them. So here is a rose family photo, and notice it's green, and I can add this one to the collection. Every time it redisplays, and once something's in there, you will see the collection name show here. That's the file name. These are all the roses. So I'm building that collection now. And these are already selected because we got them up here. So it goes fairly rapidly, especially if there's multiple people in a particular item. So let's suppose we're done with that now. And I'm going to show you what we can do with it. Now we can restrict this list.
Okay. This is my mother.
We can restrict this list by clicking the checkbox.
This is my mother.
Every time I hover over that playlist there, it's going to play. So now we can see the restriction is on. We only see things that are green in the left-hand column. And now we can focus on just what we are interested in. Now we see other names in there because people that have a last name of Rose are included in those photos. So that gives you a way to narrow it down to just the items you are interested in. You can set up multiple collections and restrict your list to just the things that you want to focus in on. If you don't restrict it, you can see things that are in the collection and not in the collection, and you can see what is in the collection. If you have multiple collections, the one that is selected down here will be green. Others will not be. Another feature of this is if you go back to the Alt-F menu, there is a build collection, and if you click on that, the selected collection will, two files will be created on the file system for you. And if we go to this bud directory, actually the directory above that, we now see a rose.txt. I should have taken the txt off of that and made it a JSON. That would have been better. But anyway, we have two files in that directory now. These files allow you to extract the files that were in that collection to a separate directory and do something with them. The accessions file is a copy of the accessions data, and if I open that, you'll see the data for that collection. It's not formatted in a pleasant to read format here, but if you open it with one of your browsers, it probably will be a lot better. You can't just double click on it. You'll have to learn how to do that yourself. And the commands file, if you open that with a text editor, you'll see that copy commands, or I actually made link commands in there to move, to create the directory structure in this directory for those commands. That's an advanced thing. Take a look at those if you're capable of using it. That's about collections. And I think that's what I wanted you to see, that you can stop as soon as you're full up and come back to this at a later time and learn as you go. Thanks for watching so far. I hope this will help you make more use out of shoebox. I'd be very interested to know what you like and what you didn't understand. So long for now.